Here we go. Here we go. Success as a DJ and producer. What does it take? Today, we're going to go over my top key reasons on what I think it takes to make it. I've been fortunate enough to talent buy and for a variety of venues throughout Miami in my career. I booked from the smallest locals and given them their first chance to some of the biggest DJs in the world. I've worked with them directly, their teams. I've seen the differences of what it takes to make it, even from going from bedroom to the highest form of local or touring on a global scale. I have 5 things here that I think without these, you don't have a chance. So I'm going to go over them. Number 5, I think there's a sacrifice people don't often think about. And when you think about people like Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, or anybody in any form of the highest of whatever their career might be, when you look at people like Elon Musk, when you look at people like Jeff Bezos, like all these people are high performers, right? But they make massive sacrifices. The sacrifices fall into their personal lives and everything else. And I believe if you want to make it at this, and before I go even farther on that, I want to remind you all the barrier to entry to become a DJ or a producer is so small. At these day and age, you can buy a few $100 software and start producing. Samples are cheap. Videos and content to learn how to make music is free on YouTube. And as a DJ, you can start with a $200 controller that plugs into your computer and at least learn the basics of mixing and beat matching and all that stuff. And I mean, there's even the shortcut of syncing, right? Which is a whole other topic. I'm not going to get into that today. But the barrier entry is low. And because of that, and because the upside is so big, there's fame, there's an ego fulfillment, and then there's the money side, right? The money can be big. It naturally attracts a lot of people. And with the scale of electronic music to where it is today, that's even magnified even more, right? So when I say this sacrifice, I mean, and when I compare it to people like Jordan and Tiger Woods, these people trained their entire lives to get to where they were. They neglected time with their friends, maybe with their family. They practiced and prepared every single day of their life to maybe have a chance to go big, right? And I say this because it will take a sacrifice. And once you make it, the sacrifice becomes even bigger. Because at this level, maybe you're just sacrificing extra time at night in between your job or school, a little bit of time away from your family because you're locked in your studio practicing. Maybe you're out on the weekends. Those are like the small sacrifices. But if you make it, you're going to be on airplanes every weekend, hotels. You're going to have lots of time away from your family, your friends, your significant other. So in the short term, this sacrifice is really the things that get in the way from you perfecting your talent. On the long term, the sacrifice is a personal life. It's a lot of other things. And I know some people will argue saying like, oh, you can balance. I mean, if you try, you're just gonna maybe you have a chance of making it, but I'm telling you, the others that are just as talented than you, that are willing to make those sacrifices, they're going to have more hours in it than you. They're going to have more time promoting, marketing, all these things. When you're doing your hobby, playing your PlayStation, hanging out with friends, those sacrificers will be outworking you, and then they're going to increase their probability of success, right? And that time away from this business, your associations, the people you hang out with, all these things, those people will be there when you're not, and they'll seize that opportunity, that right time, right place. That's the short version of this. I could go deeper, but truly, like before you go farther, ask yourself what is important. And I'm gonna say, from my personal experience, it took me a lot of years to realize that this was a sacrifice, right? And I say that because as things started working in success and I talked to my normal friend group, and I would tell them the things I was doing, the hours I was working on, the days, the weeks, the skipping certain things, the not hanging out with that friend group as much as I used to, they looked at it like I was obsessed with this industry. From my perspective, I just enjoyed it. It was natural. Like I never thought I was sacrificing anything. It's what I wanted to do. It's what made me happy, and I obsessed over it, right? I obsessed over it every day of the week. Slowly, my normal friend group faded away as people in this industry became my friends, and I spent more time with them because we were together on the weekends. We're talking every day during the week, planning things. We're hanging out when we travel, like all these things. So I say it's a sacrifice, but in my opinion, if it's truly what you want and love, it'll just come natural, right? The other things is time on a PlayStation or Xbox, or time doing this thing on the weekend or that thing on the weekend. It just doesn't seem as important when you become obsessed with this goal, right? This industry, right? And that we love electronic music, we love clubs, we love events. It's what I prefer to do. So that's probably the fifth. The next thing I'll say, and it relates to all these things intertwine with each other, which is why I say they're important, right? The next thing is just being present in the scene. On a local level, you're going to get more gigs the more you're out. The promoters are going to recognize you more, seeing you weekend after weekend. The managers of the venues, the owners of the venues, even the customers or the fans. The more you're hanging out on the dance floor, the VIPs behind the scenes, your face is gonna become more and more recognizable. And as you become more recognizable with both the customers and the industry people on a local level, it's gonna provide more opportunities, right? Because naturally, we're gonna book people that are just more out in the scene because more people are gonna support them, right? That's on a local level. If you want local gigs, you're going to need to be very present on your local scene. And as you scale and start making music and start trying to grow on a more international way, both on the toying and the music side, you're going to need to build your presence within the industry people, right? The label owners, the A&Rs, the promoters around the world, the press people, the people who the managers, the agents, like all these people. And the more you know, the more relationships you have, it spider webs out. So if at a point your music's phenomenal and you're trying to get on a certain label and you just don't have that relationship, the 100 other relationships that you do have, one of them might have that contact for you and they'll make an intro. And that's where the knowing the right people is sometimes more important than anything. So building your relationships locally, internationally, within the industry is key. It becomes easier as you just do it more. It compounds over time, right? And hanging out with a few of the right people, they'll just naturally introduce you to more people, and that and, like it just keeps it keeps compounding unbelievably. I can't even explain it until you just get more and more involved in the scene. So number four, just be more active within your scene. Number three, talent and star power. And though is number one, and it is number one at the beginning, because you do need to perfect these things. Like, don't go out and get those gigs. Don't go out and try to release stuff immediately. Like, really try to perfect your skill, because when the opportunities start coming, you're not going to want to botch it, right? Star power goes hand in hand with talent in this modern market. This isn't the most this isn't the most receptive conversation because people want to deny this is a reality sometimes, but social media runs everything now. And having a presence online on Instagram, on TikTok, whatever future platforms that it might be, is essential. Without it, you're not going to be able to maintain your fan base. You're not going to be able to communicate with them. You're not going to be able to push future music on them, future shows, like whatever, right? So having some star power naturally always helps. If you're a shy, timid person, what I recommend to you early on is put yourself in as many uncomfortable situations as possible. Start talking on camera as much as possible. The more you do it, the more comfortable you become, the more natural you become. That radiates when you're playing. You could have a great DJ set, but your energy in the booth can radiate to the fans and provide just a better experience for them, right? And like I said, 15 years ago, that didn't matter as much, but it's a digital world. Like I said, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, all these things kind of run everything. They're going to add layers to your brand, and having star power as much as having talent, they go hand in hand today, right? And again, you don't need to have star power. Like if you're not looking for full global touring and at a bare minimum, you just want to gig locally or domestically, and you want to gig just enough, and you want your gigs and music just to cover your bills so you can do this full time. There's definitely a path for that. But if you're looking to maybe go as far as you possibly can, you will need to have star power in today's world and matching talent, right? And I'm going to explain why this is number 3 once I get through number 2 and 1. So talent, star power. Number 2, execution. I can't stress enough how often I find unbelievable talent and they're just either afraid to execute because their mind believes that they're afraid to show the world something and get that rejection, or like a procrastination thing, right? You can have all the talent in the world, but your lack of ability to get it out to the crowd, to the fans, to the masses, to your niche crowd, like whatever that is, your ability to be able to do this is key. And those who execute are dominators, right? Those who are prepared to move fast with getting their music out, getting content out that supports it, mixes, press, interviews, like all these things that are going to happen. Your ability to do this and to do this quickly is going to put you above the thousands or millions of others trying to do the same thing. I can't stress enough how important execution is. And in number 1, relentless hard work. I mentioned Tiger Woods and Elon Musk and Bezos and Michael Jordan, and there's hundreds of these examples. These people will outwork everybody else, and this is where all these things intertwine, because if you have decent talent, you can get better because you're a hard worker and you're willing to execute. You will put in the time, the energy, the sacrifices. You will be more active in the scene. Like all these things go together, because if you're willing to put in that hard work and you're willing to execute, you can get better at every single one of these things, right? If you're naturally lazy, procrastinator, all those things, like you might have some raw talent, but because maybe you're lazy and because you're a procrastinator, you won't be able to put all that stuff out to the world. You won't be able to refine your talent as fast as others. You won't care to be involved in your scene or the bigger scene. You won't sacrifice. You'll choose a TV show or playing video games or bullshitting with friends over all these things. So they all intertwine together. And the reason relentless hard work and execution is slightly more important than talent is because if you have those traits, you will get more and more talented. I've seen it time and time again, right? I hope this was all helpful. Again, running through these really quick: sacrifice, being active in your scene, talent and star power, execution, and relentless hard work. If you can have these 5 traits or acquire them, there's very little that could stop you, right? Like I said, there's probably in Miami alone, there's probably a few thousand DJs trying to do this. We put out a post on Humans Alike like 6 months ago looking for new local talent, and we told people to just tag names in the comments, and we had like an AI organize it all. But we got over 20,000 comments on that post in a matter of 3 days. So that's just in Miami. That's an insane amount. There was a lot of repetitive names. I think once we had the AI clean it all up, we were probably somewhere just shy of 10,000, but that's just in Miami. That's just one market. When you scale this on a global level, there's millions and millions of people of all ages attempting this thing. A handful, maybe 10 to 30 names a year break through into like a global touring route way, and I would say maybe less than that. So the percentage of success is so low. Like you truly need to be better than all these other people, and not just better on a talent level, but better on every level, right? So if you're willing to put in more time, if you're willing to outwork people, if you're willing to get better at your skills, your chances your chances of success are just increased dramatically over everybody else, right? As always, I hope you found this content useful. And if you would like to have some one-on-one time with me, I put a link in the description below of this and every video. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and follow us. It really helps us grow, and we appreciate you all. See you on the next video.